Good morning, YouTube. This is man always George Page coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, last night I watched one of my favorite reality shows. And I watch it so often. It's Storage Wars. It was one of my favorite shows that me and my mom used to watch. And one of her favorite characters came back, and that is Barry Weiss. Now, if you know anything about Storage Wars, it's a series where you have people bidding on storage lockers, and sometimes they hit. It's kind of a hit and miss. Being a storage, getting the storage thing, do these storage locker things, it's a gamble. And you better have some big money if you do it. And Barry's one of those guys. He had big money. He did pretty good sometimes, but not too good other times. And he was part of the OG group of the series. Him, Daryl Schultz, Daryl Sheets. You got Dan Dotson, and everybody's least favorite person, Dave Hester. But Barry was everybody's favorite. Now when he was driving this badass car. I mean, it looked like if you ever read the old Batman comic books, remember the original Batmobile. That's what it looks like. It looks like the Batmobile from the comics. And here's with Kenny. And he put Kenny on years ago. If you remember, Kenny used to work at one of the storage locker places, and Kenny helped Barry with a storage locker, and Kenny became part of the show. And Barry is, he likes to go high bid, and he has a style look to him. But he's just one of the coolest guys. My mom used to love Barry. I was a big fan of him too, And before he got into storage bidding and storage auctions, he was originally into, produce and retail. Him and his brother made a lot of money off of that. And after that, he retired, and retired a very wealthy man. And he collects like motorcycles. He's a big motorcycle enthusiast. He loves cars and stuff. And Barry's just one of these guys. I mean, he's just crazy. And I remember one episode where this guy, Mark Valerio, remember him? He was on there, or maybe an episode or so before he killed himself. He come on there. He was bidding big and getting the storage lockers. If you know the series, Dave Hester and Daryl Sheets don't like each other. They do not like each other. But these two men came together to stop Barry from overbidding. And I mean, this is a sign where people love Barry. He was just that lovable character. If you can get two guys like Daryl Sheets and Dave Hester to come together, they really, that's just really, camaraderie. And Barry just, like I said, I always liked Barry. He was just a cool dude, I liked his style. But eventually things changed. After 2014, Barry left the show. And he had his own spin-off series, And, he was doing other stuff like, collectibles and stuff like that, traveling. And he had this crazy car. He looked like some of the Jetsons. But, after a while, that series didn't last that long. Even though Barry was a very popular character, he couldn't hold the series by himself. You remember a few years ago, Jared and Brandy had a spinoff series. It didn't last that long either. And you know what? I found out something that, they're not together anymore. Wow, I was surprised about that. But, sometimes reality shows, relationships don't last forever. But the series kept on going, and to me, it kind of struggled for a good while. I watched it here and there. You had characters like Ivy, you had Renee, his wife, and, so many other different characters, like rotating characters in and out. But, one thing they did was to bring the series up because, Dave had left the series because he had issues with Dan and Laura and other stuff, and he had his own little business. And they brought back Dave Hester. And that's the thing what they did. They did it because, even though Barry was the person you loved, Dave was the guy you hate. And sometimes people watch the people they hate, especially see them fail, something like that. But Barry, he was doing, living his life, traveling, doing things right here, making appearances. He was having success outside of the show and spending time with his family. He's a father and a grandfather, and he was enjoying that. But him coming back, I think from what I'm hearing, the series might be ending. So I think they want to end off with a good note. So I think that's why they asked Barry to come back, and I think it's great to see him back. I mean, it's fun. He brought something to the show that it needs. A great character, somebody lovable. I mean, that's what he was. And like I said, if my mom was around, she would have loved it. She'd been smiling ear to ear seeing Barry back on there. He's just a cool dude. Look at these. I mean, he's like Jack Nicholson and who else I kind of think of. Cross between Jack Nicholson and another guy I'm trying to think of. That's what he is. He's like the Jack Nicholson of storage bidding. But like I said, it was great to see him come back. I hope, we see more episodes with him. And like I said, whatever he does afterwards, it's just, it's going to be golden. This guy is successful. So anyway, congratulations, Barry, for coming back. You really make the show. I think you go pick the show up a little bit. Maybe even they might even keep it from canceling. This is your man, Ray George Page. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.